Filipino tennis star Alex Eala is expected to compete first in the Strausbourg Open in France this weekend. The 20-year-old Filipino tennis sensation enters the tournament fresh off an impressive round of 32 finish at the Italian Open, where she pushed world number 2 Elena
to this Australian Open in a way that I haven't really seen any player do before. Certainly not someone as new on the scene, so making their tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans across the Philippines, across Asia, across the world, buckle up because something absolutely massive is happening in the French city of Strasbourg right now. Tournament director Denis Naegelen, the man who has dedicated his life to building one of the most respected WTA tournaments in all of Europe, has thrown open the doors of the international draw wider than ever before. And the reason is a 20-year-old Filipino sensation by the name of Alexandra Alexa is in town. And trust me, this is not just another player showing up for a tune-up event.
This is a moment. This is a statement. This is history in the making.
Now, before we talk about Alex, let's take a second to appreciate just how significant this welcome really is. Denis Naegelen is not just any tournament director. This man is the Strausbourg Open. He's a former professional tennis player from the Alsace region of France. A man with clay courts running through his veins. Back in 2009, when the tournament was on the brink of leaving Strausbourg entirely, it was Naegelen who stepped up through his company quarterback and saved it.
He kept it in France. He kept it in Strausbourg.
He turned it into a WTA 500 event, one of the most prestigious pre-Roland Garros tournaments on the entire women's circuit. For over a decade, Denis has worked tirelessly to make this tournament a destination for the best players in the world.
His hosted champions. His hosted legends.
The courts at the foot of the European Parliament have seen it all. But when Denis Naegelen talks about the buzz that Alex Eala is bringing to this tournament, that means something. That carries weight because this man has seen every kind of player walk through those gates. And even he recognizes that what Eala brings is something uniquely special. The attention, the excitement, the global fan base. It is something the Strausbourg Open has never quite experienced at this level before.
Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to have reached that level where everyone is a fighter. The level is so close. I mean, this year I've done AO.
So, let's talk about the elephant, or should I say the golden eagle, in the room. Alex Eala doesn't just bring a tennis racket to a tournament.
She brings an army. We're talking about the Filipino fan base.
Arguably the most passionate, most dedicated, most emotionally invested sports community on the planet. These are fans who will stream matches at 3 o'clock in the morning. Fans who will fill comment sections, flood trending pages, and turn every single one of Alex's matches into a national event back home in the Philippines. When Eala steps onto a court, an entire nation collectively holds its breath.
And now they are watching Strausbourg.
People who may have never heard of the international ode to Strausbourg before this week are now Googling it, streaming it, and following Denis Naegelen's tournament like it's a grand slam.
The social media numbers don't lie.
The search traffic doesn't lie. The Strausbourg Open is getting a spotlight it has never had before, and it is because Alex Eala walked into the draw. For a WTA 500 event, this kind of global attention is extraordinary. This is the Eala effect. And Denis Naegelen knows it. The entire Strausbourg organization knows it. This is exactly why the welcome this year has been like never before. Now, let's get into the tennis because this is where it gets really interesting.
Alex Eala is one of the most exciting young players on tour.
At just 20 years old, she's already cracked the top 40 in the world. She's a Rafael Nadal Academy graduate. And yes, she learned her tennis on the clay courts of Mallorca, Spain, under the same program that shaped one of the greatest clay court players in the history of the sport. But here's the thing about competing on clay at the professional level.
It is a completely different animal.
Earlier this clay season, Eala made stops in Linz, Stuttgart, and Madrid, building her game, feeling out the surface, and learning lesson after lesson. Then came the Italian Open in Rome, where she delivered her first career third-round finish at a major clay event, defeating world-class opponents before falling to world number 2, Elena Rybakina, in a match that showed she absolutely belongs at this level.
This was not a lucky run. This was not a fluke.
This was Alex Eala telling the entire tennis world that the clay court is becoming her territory.
She even said it herself on the Tennis Channel.
Of course, I'm starting to build that relationship with clay, especially at this level. I competed on clay many times growing up, but playing as a professional is obviously a different game. This is my first season where I've really done these high-level tournaments. I'm finding my footing, and I know that I can do well. She is finding her footing, and Strausbourg is the final piece of the puzzle. This is only her 5th career clay court event as a professional.
Just 5 tournaments on the surface.
She is still in the early chapters of her clay court education, and Strausbourg, the tournament that sits just around the corner from Roland Garros, is the last classroom before the biggest exam of her career.
In general, I'm a better player this year now at this moment than I was last year, so I'm really confident with that. Yeah, I've had some struggles on clay before, but I've also had some really great matches, so I'm really excited to see. There's a couple tournaments left, so I'm really excited.
Here's what makes the Strausbourg Open so strategically perfect for Alex Eala right now. This tournament runs from May 17th to May 23rd. Roland Garros, the French Open, begins May 24th. 1 week, 7 days, separates these two courts. The conditions are as close to Roland Garros as you can possibly get without actually being there. The French clay, the French weather, the French atmosphere. Every match Eala plays in Strasbourg is a full dress rehearsal for the biggest clay court stage in the world. And here is the part that should make every Filipino fan incredibly proud. Eala has already secured her spot in the Roland Garros main draw without going through qualifying.
That is massive.
That tells you everything about where she stands in the world rankings and in the eyes of the tennis establishment.
She did not get a wild card.
She did not sneak in through a lucky loser spot.
She earned her place at the French Open on merit.
But earning a spot and knowing how to perform on that Parisian clay under Grand Slam pressure are two very different things. That takes representatives. That takes match play. That takes the kind of full match competitive experience that only a tournament like Strausbourg can provide in the days leading up to Roland Garros. Every forehand she rips on these courts, every backhand slice she perfects, every point she claws back from the brink of a tiebreak, it all adds up. It's all going into the bank account. She will spend it at Roland Garros. Strausbourg isn't just a warm-up for Alexa right now.
Strausbourg is the key that unlocks the French Open. The draw here is absolutely loaded.
Madison Keys, Leylah Fernandez, Emma Raducanu, Maria Sakkari, Emma Navarro, Ekaterina Alexandrova.
It is a murderer's row of talent. This is no soft field.
These are battle-hardened players, many of whom are chasing their own Roland Garros preparation. Every single match Eala, play here will push her, test her, and sharpen her for what is coming in Paris. And right in the middle of all that, Alex Eala, 20 years old, is in the top 40 in the world, 5 clay court events into her professional career. A nation of over 110 million people watching her every single move.
A fan base that doesn't sleep when she plays.
A fan base that trends her name worldwide with zero effort. A fan base that has put the Strausbourg Open on the global map simply by showing up online and screaming her name from every corner of the internet. Denis Naegelen has run this tournament for over 15 years.
He has seen players come and go.
He has watched champions lift trophies at the foot of the European Parliament. But he has never welcomed a player quite like this. A player who doesn't just compete, but who transforms a tournament into an international event overnight. A player who carries an entire nation on her shoulders and somehow makes it look effortless.
The Strausbourg Open is buzzing. The Philippines is watching. The world is watching.
And Alex Eala, she is just getting started. Don't miss a single ball. Don't blink because this journey from Strasbourg to Roland Garros is going to be one for the history books. Mabu Alex Eala. Go make history.
So, we want to hear from you.
Do you think Alexa is ready to make a deep run at Roland Garros this year? Has her clay court game improved enough after Linz, Stuttgart, Madrid, and Rome to go toe-to-toe with the best in the world on the biggest stage? And what about Strausbourg? Do you think she goes all the way and lifts the trophy before heading to Paris? Or is this purely about match sharpness and clay court rhythm for her? Drop your predictions in the comments right now.
And here's a bigger question.
How far do you see Alex Eala going at the French Open? Round of 16, quarterfinals, maybe even further because we know you have opinions, and we genuinely want to read every single one of them. Also, for all the Filipino fans watching, where are you streaming from? Let us know your country, your city, and your time zone, because we know you are everywhere, and we love every single one of you for showing up for Alex no matter what hour it is. And finally, do you think the global attention IA is bringing to tournaments like the Strausbourg Open is changing how the world sees Filipino athletes forever?
Because that conversation is worth having.
Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's build this community together because Alex Eala's journey is only just beginning, and we are going to cover every single step of it.